Craig Pasta2Go. You'll recognize him from hosting the Jimmy Dore Show while Jimmy's on tour.
I always say, tell me one thing that Joe Biden has done better than Donald Trump. Tell me one friggin' thing. Joe Biden's going to do the whole student debt thing. No, he's not. Student loan freeze is ending. Prepare to pay up starting August 30th. Joe Biden had a chance. He had leverage when he went to talk about the debt stealing. He didn't get it done with McCarthy. He couldn't get it done with McCarthy, but he still made sure there was a pipeline of money to go to Ukraine
Thank
war
God.
and any other war they want. But student loan forgiveness,
it was worth it because they're winning.
that was their crown jewel. Didn't get it done. How many people has Joe Biden been guilty of killing?
That's right.
Joe Biden was for every single war, including the Iraq war. He was a senator with the Democrats, and he's the one who brought it to the table for George W. Bush to have his illegal war. Maui fire victims faced evictions and cutoffs. Can you imagine this? The fact that they're sending all this money, they're arguing to send all this money to Ukraine, and they won't even help these people out. They don't have money to help the citizens who lost everything, but they have money to fund war. We're going to be here every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And now remember, it's time for Pasta to Go. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. Craig Pasta2Go. This is Pasta2Go. I am your host, Craig Pasta2Go. Like I just said, I repeated myself, but who cares? I love you guys. Thank you for all the support. We are on Twitter, where there seems to be a growing crowd every single time we have a show. We are on YouTube, Pasta2Go, one word. We are on Rumble, Pasta2Go, the number 2, one word. We have a Patreon, a Locals, a Give, Send, Go, the whole 9 yards, because we want to make independent media rock with your help. And thank you so much. As you can see, this is just a computer with a little HD camera. We are moving into a studio for the next 3 months. We found a spot where we can set up full time, and therefore we can just concentrate on doing work all the time. A lot of fun stuff ahead of us, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be joining Fiorella from the Convo Couch in Mexico and Venezuela if everything goes as planned to observe their general elections. I got another plan on the docks. And, of course, if you don't know, now you know, the Minds Fest, ladies and gentlemen. I will be going to the Minds Fest. Let me do the share screen real quick. I have it right here. I forgot to tell Jamie Cheese Slice on the 1s and 2s to get it ready. But I will be on 2 panels at the Minds Fest, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Luke Radowski, Drea DiMatteo from The Sopranos. I can't wait to meet her. She was Adriana, who played Christopher Moltisanti's girlfriend. She will be there at the Minds Fest. Jimmy Dore, Alex Stein, and, of course, everyone's favorite Lauren Chen, Destiny, who will be on a panel with me, an election integrity debate, as well as, is America becoming a communist country? It is pretty awesome that they accepted me. They accepted me real late. If you're in the area and you want to go to the show, hit the promo code PASTA. That's PASTA. Get yourself 20% off and go watch me destroy. Not with this baseball bat, with my words, Destiny on the election integrity panel. Yeah, and that's why I got the bat, guys. I've been collecting baseball gear too as well. Getting ready to go over to one of those Caribbean countries, can't say it out loud, and bring a ton of bats, a ton of balls, a ton of mitts. You can always help me out. Go to my Give, Send, Go if you want to help me do that. That's always fun. We got a great show for you tonight, guys. Like I said, we're moving into the studio over the weekend. But right now, we're going to still chop it up and have a great show today. I have a guest. You know her. She saw her the other day. Oof. The Destiny. Look at that one there. Boom. Yep, that's right. Election integrity. What does Destiny know about election integrity, right? We'll see what he knows. Yeah, you know, you guys know me. If you've been following me for a while, you know what I know about election integrity. So this should be fun. In fact, he was the one who inspired me to get on the panel, right? I saw his name and I said, oh, no. The way that Mr. Norman Finkelstein, who's going to be on Glenn Greenwald tonight, he tore up Destiny. He did a great service there. Mr. Bennell, you are a marvelous idiot. Have some humility, he said. I said I have to do the same thing. I can't let this guy just run his mouth about election integrity when he doesn't know anything about elections. So we're going to show up. We're going to have fun in Austin, Texas. If you can join us, PASTA, promo code. Come on, do it. All right, our guest for tonight, you know her. You saw her last night. If you watched the show, she's my good friend. I've also done several shows with her. We did a show about addiction called To Hell and Back. She knows everything about those drugs out there. She's an encyclopedia of knowledge. She has a great show. She works with Roar Media, Oz LaFave, Amber King. You know her. The Trailer Park Pundit is here, ladies and gentlemen. Back again. Shanda Master.
Uh-oh. Why don't I have a camera?
What's going on here? Can you guys see me?
Nope.
Okay.
You're froze.
Let me go out and come back in. I'll be right back.
There we go. She's working on a new studio, everybody. That's what's going on. So, yeah, we're going to get that going. Guys, take a look at this beautiful bat I got. I'm going to get some more bats, take them to that Caribbean island that's sanctioned and blockaded, right? And bring it to some kids. Awesome. I got 10 bats total. I want to bring 20. I got a great connection. You guys can always help me out, and you know all the ways to help me out. So, a lot of things going on. Shanda Master is here. You look beautiful with those glasses. You look, as we used to say, smart. How you doing today, Shanda Master?
Smart. I'm good. I'm bummed that I can't go to Austin and see you just annihilate Destiny. Who has got it coming? Guys out there acting like he understands elections. You know, Pasta, I know a lot of people in this country, a lot of activists, and a lot of people that focus just on election. And I'm going to say you are the foremost expert when it comes to election integrity around the world, not just in the United States.
Oh, thank you so much. I love you so much. Thank you so much for the support. And thank you so much.
It's true, though. I don't just say that to blow smoke. I mean it. You really are.
Well, there's a lot of people in this chat right now that have been watching the show for a while, been watching the Convo Couch with me and Fee. And to tell you the truth, I wouldn't have been able to do this work without them. Every single time we have a fundraiser, we put it on up. They come through with flying colors, literally, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. I mean, you know, I want to thank Caleb Maupin for getting me to Nicaragua. I want to thank Wyatt Reed and Max Blumenthal for getting me to Honduras. I want to thank so many of those great people out there. You know, I want to thank Gloria Guillo, who get me to Brazil and having so many great connections. I want to thank James Patrick for getting me into Colombia. And I want to thank Terry Matson for getting me over to Mexico. There's so many people who help out, so many people who open up doors. And, you know, to be able to go and do that work, it's something special. And I'm honored to be able to do it for you guys. Now, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we need you to help us out, right? We're fairly a new show. A lot of people don't know we're here. We need you to share the link.
Share.
God, you know, why do I bring in the trolls, man? Oh, my Lord. Do I support Donald Trump?
Hey, Trailer Park. Good to see you guys hanging out. Trailer Park's here.
Trailer Park, what's going on? Do I support Donald Trump?
No, but you know, we're in that weird space now because we're not total leftists anymore where we get called conservatives, Republican, whatever. Just roll with it.
I would argue with that, Shanda, that we are more left. We're more left than the Democratic Party because they're not left at all. And just because I can call out Joe Biden and the Democrats, just because I'm not blue no matter who, that doesn't mean I support Donald Trump. Damn. Haters. It's okay. Haters. We like you. We invite the haters in. Thanks for coming on in. Thanks for watching, haters. Haters gonna hate. So let's get to it, Shanda. We have a show today that is tailor-made for you. I called you earlier. I said it's going to be a quick show. It's not going to be a long show today. We're going to zip through this stuff, but we have 4 great sections today, 4 great topics, and they're right in your wheelhouse. First, let's talk about this one. A lot of people didn't know about this. Did you know that Nikki Haley has found a new job?
Am I shocked? I mean, I'm really surprised she didn't become the Democratic nominee. I'm just saying, with as much money as she's taken from the Dems this election cycle.
Her or Mitt Romney, how did it not make it? Nikki Haley, ladies and gentlemen, has joined the Hudson Institute with fellow friend Steve Bannon. That's right, the anti-China, ultra-conservative, warmongering Institute of Hudson, right, has now opened the doors to let Nikki Haley jump on in. Come on, let's bring the article up and I will read along. This is from The Hill, ladies and gentlemen. Haley joining the conservative think tank. Well, really quickly, Shanda, I mean, all the warmongering that she did during the campaign, right, refusing to drop out, this is not really a surprise because she set herself up to get this type of position over at the Hudson Institute.
She's a military industrial golden girl. Are you kidding? I mean, that's the only reason she's there is to push for the military industrial complex.
Former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley is set to join the Hudson Institute think tank. The group announced Monday, the post will allow her to keep a notable profile as she mulls a second presidential bid for 2028. Haley, former President Trump's most significant 2024 primary rival, is set to be the Walter P. Stern chair at the Institute. I guess she's taking the chair. She's taking the head warmonger's job, the anti-Chinese Hudson Institute. When our policymakers fail to call out our enemies or acknowledge the importance of our allies, the world is left safe. That is why Hudson's work is so critical, Haley said in a statement. They believe the American people should have the facts and policymakers should have the solutions to support a secure, free, and prosperous future. I look forward to partnering with them to defend the principles that make America the greatest country in the world. Haley served as governor of South Carolina before joining the Trump administration. She's sometimes mentioned as a potential presidential candidate for Trump, though the bitterness in the primary fight between Trump and Haley could make it difficult for the presumptive GOP presidential nominee to select her. Nikki is a proven effective leader on both foreign and domestic policy. Hudson President John Walters said in a statement, in the era of worldwide political upheaval, she has remained a steadfast defender of freedom and an effective advocate for American security and prosperity. We are honored to have her join the Hudson team. Notable members of the think tank throughout the history include former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger and former Vice President Dan Quayle and former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and former Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao joined the think tank in 2021. That's some good company there, Shanda. Your thoughts immediately when you hear those names, Shanda. Henry Kissinger, right?
Yeah.
She's joining the likes of Henry Kissinger over here. Here we go.
Let's be clear. They needed some diversity because don't forget, she was the first Indian American, not Native American, Indian American woman to ever serve in a presidential cabinet. So they need some diversity. They're going to get their, EGSIBIC scores. And they mark the box because they've got her there.
Well, I want to bring something up real quick, see if I can bring it up. I want to do something too, because I do want to point out that there is somebody that was very well known at the Hudson think tank. He was recently a keynote speaker, right? Let me see if I can get it up. I don't think I can.
Don't even get me started with
sorry. Did I say that out loud?
Yeah, I'll bring you to the ground with it. That's what she said jokes.
I know it's totally that's what she said joke. Let me see if I can get it up. I'm trying to figure it out right now. Slides. I think that's slides. No. Why can't I get this up?
That's what she said.
Oh, here it is. Oh, stop.
I told you.
Stop it. Here it is. Guess who was the keynote speaker at the Hudson Institute? Look at that there.
Oh, no way.
Steve Bannon, right? So this is where
he your buddy now that you're a Republican and hanging out on the right?
Yeah. Now that I support Donald Trump, that somebody said in the chat, Steve Bannon, Hudson Institute keynote speaker. This is where a lot of the anti-China rhetoric comes from, Shanda, this Hudson Institute. Yeah. This is where Steve Bannon has made his bones. He's also been supported by a guy named Miles Guo, right? And this is what Nikki Haley is doing. She's becoming part of this clan. She's solidifying her position in this clan right over here. So it's kind of crazy. I do have another video over here, and this is something I made not too long ago, because here's the thing. When you have people out there like Steve Bannon and his little minions, you tend to get people start repeating garbage out there. There was a guy who made a video not too long ago, and just the other day, when we were playing the video with Miriam Hanen was on, with Garland Nixon, we were talking about the bridge, and we played a video of this little independent news channel. I don't know where all these conservatives get all this money from, right? It's like a little dinky independent news channel that has less views than mine, and yet it gets a ton of money to spew this bullshit. And you had this Asian American woman going after, pretty much the CCP. The Chinese CCP are the ones who attacked the bridge, literally coming with a straight face saying they're the ones who attacked the bridge. And they said, whistleblower Miles Guo. Matt Aaron has run an awesome article on who Miles Guo is. He's an ex-Chinese nationalist that has been banned from the government, was thrown in prison. When he got out, he fled to America, and here he is hanging out. But when you have these little dinky channels and you keep repeating this rhetoric, this is why it's important. I talked about this with Jamie, Shanda, and I think I'd like to get your opinion, because I think it's important not to blame communism on everything. Because if you blame everything on communism, right? I don't blame communism on everything. I blame everything on communism. You can then get easily twerked or moved into a position where you're going to manufacture consent for war with countries like China. It's very, very dangerous when you start pointing the finger at communism. Then you start pointing the fingers at every country that is communism. And the next thing you know, a Cold War turns into a hot war.
Yeah, that's exactly what the well, both sides of the party do, but more so the Republican Party. We have a bad case of isms in the United States. I don't care what isms it is, right? And people don't know their freaking ass from a hole in the ground when it comes to these isms. They don't understand. They just eat up the rhetoric that they've been sold their whole entire life by the conservatives of communist parties bad, got to shut them down. Socialist countries bad, gotta, coup them. That's just what we do as Americans. We don't ever actually have a full discussion about anything. We just throw an ism on it and shut it down.
Jamie, you got any opinions about this? Cheese Slice, if you want to jump in, because I know this is something you talk about quite a bit, and it's like you're mad about the right things, you're just mad at the wrong people sometimes.
Right.
It's just very, very troubling, and he put it up. Why we try so hard to turn a Cold War into a hot war. But Jamie Cheese Slice, give us your opinions on why it is dangerous and any thoughts you have on the subject.
Well, I mean, a lot of it has to do with the divisive nature of our media. They want to divide and conquer, classic strategy. But if you got people blaming, I mean, you've got people who can identify the problem, but they're blaming the wrong source of the problem, then you're never going to find an answer to the problem.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing. If we got to find a way to correct people to make sure that they're not blaming the wrong people, because it's neoliberals that they should be angry at. It's neocons they should be angry at. And you've got neocons and neoliberals in both the Republican and the Democrat Party. The percentages might be different from one to the other, but and you got some politicians who are both neocons and neoliberals. And yet these are the people who've been in charge for 40 plus years. They've been making all the policy. They've been deciding where all the money's going to go. They've been driving all of the wars. And yet they're not the ones being blamed. People who are upset with those policies and legislation are blaming communists who have no money and no power.
Yeah. And, there's good and bad in everything, right? There's good things about religion. There's good things about being a Catholic. There's some bad things, right? You look at the Bible, there's some stupid things in that Bible. I don't want to, piss on anybody's religion over here. But I mean, there's positive things, there's negative things. There's good things in communism. There's bad things in communism. There's good things in capitalism. There's bad things in capitalism, right? At least by theory wise. And, we don't even have capitalism here in the United States.
Not really,
we have this techno woke fascism. And that's exactly what it is. It shouldn't be the question. Matt Ehret said it best. And I'm going to say this on the stage at the Minds Fest. The question shouldn't be communism or capitalism. The question should be slavery or freedom, right? That is what we should be looking at, Shanda.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Jamie.
Yeah, he's really, Matt really said we should be pointing to feudalism. We're in a neo-techno feudalism.
Woke feudalism. Woke. We got to put the woke in there. Woke has been misrepresented. It's now been changed. It used to be a word, a positive word. Now it's used in a negative way. But they're using that wokeism to kind of pin the tail on the communists or the Chinese. They kind of throw that wokeism, like that's their ideology. That's what communism is. They eliminate gender, they eliminate everything, they eliminate religion. So they take all this stuff that's happening that's really divisive and driving people crazy, and they try to thrust it and put it on the Chinese or the CCP or the socialists or the
even though they want to do the same shit to us by rolling out the techno security state on us, it's the same thing. We play these games of communism over there and democracy over here, but at the end of the day, they all want to answer to the World Economic Forum and their future idea for a one world government. So, we play these games, but at the end of the day, they all bend the knee, including Putin, including Xi. You're not going to convince me otherwise.
Okay. You talked crap about Shanda, and I put you in timeout. You can talk crap about me all you want. You talk shit about Shanda, you go in timeout. That's what happened.
Bummer.
Right?
I missed it. Normally I can handle it myself, but I don't have the chat up.
It wasn't even that bad of a comment, but it was enough. You don't talk shit about my friends.
I'm a mod, so I can see.
Yeah. You don't talk shit about my friends. Otherwise, you end up in timeout. And that's what happens, pal. So he's in timeout. He or she is in timeout. Whoever's talking trash, that's what you get. Listen, we talk about the dangers of how this, can turn a cold war into a hot war. It's not the first time I think the elites in this country have said, let's blame the communists for something, right? They immediately go to that. But when you start getting that rhetoric out there, you get some crazy stuff. I thought it was just crazy to hear that little independent news channel actually blame the bridge, the Francis Scott Key Bridge going down on the Chinese, on the CCP. This is a video that somebody made.
Isn't that what what's her name is saying? Laura Logan.
Is she saying that?
Yeah, she's been saying it since day one. Her survey, her intel inside of the CIA is telling her. Yeah.
Bonkers.
And my husband's telling me this. No, I even brought the clip to my show. Like, they're already. I mean, it hasn't even been 12 hours, and they're saying it's the CCP.
And Laura Logan could do some good work. Laura Logan could do some great work. I've been on election integrity panels with her from the American Project. She hosted one. She was the MC. But at the end of the day, they always scapegoat the immigrant and the Chinese, and I'm not down with that. That's my shit line.
You're right.
Not doing it. Let's look at this video this dude made not too long ago. This is the stuff you're going to get when you start putting out that crazy rhetoric, the Steve Bannons, the Jack Posobics, when you start blaming the Chinese for everything. This is what you get.
Miles Guo, my friend, you've got a lot of good people fighting for you.
Can you pause it real quick?
Stay strong.
I just want to point out the reason why I thought this was crazy. Look at his shirt. He's got a shirt with Miles Guo in the middle, with Martin Luther King and Gandhi. I mean, bonkers now. Bonkers. You got MLK on a shirt with Miles Guo and Gandhi. I mean, please.
They're just missing Jesus. They just need Jesus in the background.
Oh my Lord. I mean, this is MLK and Miles Guo, a Chinese billionaire. Please.
Miles Guo, my friend, you've got a lot of good people fighting for you. So stay strong. We're here. We're praying. We're on your side. Free Miles Guo. Xi Jinping, we're coming for you. Through the keyboard, don't.
Take down the CCP. Yeah. Fuck the keyboard.
Yeah,
coming straight at you.
My keyboard's mighty.
I'm coming hard.
I'm gonna get a metal keyboard when I hit you over the head with it.
You're great.
Yeah. Oh. And Xi Jinping. You're an ass.
What a waste of fucking time and space.
Free Miles Guo. Hey, it only got 50,000 views. Freedom Talk. I don't know where these guys get this money from, right? Who are these people, right? It got 50,000 views. I mean,
we know where they get the money from, Pasta. Come on. They're paid to say the things they're saying, while we're over here in true independent media starving because we look at it from an unbiased point of view on both sides and just tell the truth. So unless you're willing to sell out to somebody, you're not going to get that big payday. And we know that.
Guys, that's the first section of the day. We're going to take a quick break, come right back. Jamie, we're not going to go right into the WEF thing. We'll save that for the end, and we'll probably go on Rumble only. I forgot that I put the second story, a WHO story. We'll save that for the very end. We'll go right into Puff Daddy.
Oh, I got so much good stuff on this.
Let's go P. Diddy style. You're watching Pasta2Go. I'm here with Shanda Master. Jamie Cheese Slice on the ones and twos. Thank you so much. Indies in the house, guys. Jilly Love, DC. So many great people. You goes there. We love you guys. Give us a second. Give us a like. Give us a share. We'll see you in a little bit. Pasta Jardula. This is the last day you're going to see me like this. We're going into a new studio over the weekend. All the ways to help independent media are down low in the chat. And by the way, less than a week away from the release, Shanda, of Lahaina on Fire Volume 2. It is coming. We'll see you after this break.
So excited.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Craig Pasta2Go. I am here with Shanda Master. This is Pasta2Go. We're setting up our new studio, and we'll be there soon. My Super Ray belongs in section 1. Okay, get to that Super Ray really quickly. We haven't that's a problem. We don't do that enough. Let's get to the Super Ray question. If you can bring it up, Jamie, we'll grab that. Shanda, we're going to talk a little bit about Puff Daddy, but before we talk about, Ping One guy is the one who got spun. Namatra Haley, the toxic chocolate scientist.
What?
That's Fred Edward, baby. Her name is
Fred.
Nimarata, not Namatra. Nimarata, right?
He's an Indian.
Nimarata Haley. She said, "Oh, we gotta use your real name." Like, all right, Nimarata Haley, no more Nikki. The toxic chocolate Zionist, and she is a Zionist through and through. Thank you, Fred Edwards. You are awesome. I'm so sorry we didn't get it. Jamie, keep an eye on that. So we got to read those super chats. We'll read them in actual as we go. We got to do more of that. Okay. So why don't you start off this section, because what we're going to talk about right off the bat, pretty much P. Diddy, right? This whole stuff has been coming out. A couple weeks ago, they raided 3 houses: his New York house, his LA house, and his Miami house, I believe it was. It was definitely South Florida. At the same time, he's had several civil lawsuits now come out against him. Everything from sexual allegations to sexual assault, drugging, putting stuff in alcohol unlawfully, all this crap. In other words, he's been getting Epstein-like accusations levied against him. And a lot of stuff has been coming out. Started with Cat Williams kind of, tipping it off on that Shannon Sharp show. 50 Cent has said some stuff. I believe you had that with us.
50 clip. Yeah,
right, 50 Cent. You brought a clips. So why don't you talk about that? Because the latest breaking news last week, a couple weeks ago, his son, Christian Combs, was named in a lawsuit. And so was Puff Daddy for providing a cover-up, I should say, right? For having a cover-up and paying some people off. He was accused of paying people off, and this girl's life has gone to shit. Diddy's son is in hot water, but why don't you start off and let's talk about it real quick.
Okay, so let's talk about Jeffrey Blackstein. And I've known about Diddy, right? We call him Diddy now. He was Puff back in the day. And you might recall that Wendy Williams tried to tell us all in the freaking 90s what Diddy was doing. And she refused to call him Diddy. She calls him Puff to this day. But you know what they've done to her, right? They've completely erased her brain and taken all of her money from her. If you've watched the last documentary about Wendy Williams, it's very, very sad. And I believe that was the power of Puff Daddy. I think that everything, I've been down this rabbit hole for a long time, but the last couple of weeks really deep. And I'm here to tell you that there is so much fallout that's going to come from this. It's just got to take a while. A lot of people seem to think that the feds are in there collecting evidence to cover it up, right? Because he had a lot of powerful players above him that were coming and going, and there was always video at every freak out party. So Diddy likes to do these things called Get Your Freak Off, which is these parties that he throws around the world. It's not just in Hollywood or in LA. But the biggest thing I took about it, because you talk about the drugging of people, do you know that they have a new drug that Diddy loves and his crew loves called 2C? And it's cocaine, it's Special K and ecstasy, and you take a Viagra, because think about it, if you do a bunch of cocaine, right, then your little noodle doesn't like to stay hard all night. So if you take some Viagra, you can go all night. I mean,
what's it called again?
It's called 2C.
All right, explain that again. How do you spell 2C?
So we heard about the pink cocaine in the lawsuit filed by Cassie, right? She said she was having to transport pink cocaine around the country for Diddy. Well, it turns out it's not pink cocaine. It's a bunch of different things. It's fentanyl with cocaine, with ecstasy, with Special K, and then of course there's Viagra on board. So this is what they're all taking. I mean, this I could literally do a 3-hour show and we wouldn't touch everything that is coming out about Diddy. The drugs are just one part of it, Pasta. I think some of the things that have been really revealed as people are going back and looking at the West Coast, East Coast feud with Tupac and Biggie. I was going to wear my Trust Nobody Biggie and Tupac shirt today, but it's too heavy to wear right now because trust nobody. And it's really coming down to, did Diddy do it? Did Diddy kill him? Have them both killed? Because he stood to gain the most from both of them being gone. And you really have to do deep dives to understand that. Yeah, it's a conspiracy, but is it a conspiracy when Shine, the rapper that took the rap for that shooting, that J-Lo shooting, remember when they're all hanging out in the club?
Oh yeah.
They all got busted, right? He did time for that. Well, he came out and dropped a video just today, I want to say.
No.
And I brought it. It's on the doc, or I have it on my thing, but it's on the doc too.
On the doc, is it playable, Jamie, or does she have to play it from her end?
Hello, Jamie.
Jamie?
I think she has to play from her end.
Okay, well here.
All right, so this is the pink drug cocktail.
There you go, Tusi. There you are.
Tusi.
The pink drug
Wow. And it has a little bit of Viagra in there too as well, so you can do the thing because that is crazy.
Obviously, right?
How will your heart not explode for taking the Tusi?
Right. But that's the whole thing. I mean, apparently when we saw this from Diddy when he did the movie Get Him to the Greek, right? Which really makes me question Russell Brand, because I know Russell Brand's seen some shit and he could tell us some truths, but he still doesn't. That's for another time, another place. But, Diddy's story goes all the way back to Frank Lucas. Do you remember who Frank Lucas is?
Yes. Isn't Frank
the
Lucas
American gangster?
The American gangster. Yes, I know Frank Lucas.
Okay, so Diddy's dad, Mel Combs, worked and ran with with Lucas, and they were moving, and you and I have talked about this a lot, the drugs that were coming through Thailand during the 70s, during the Vietnam War, that erupted over New York, right? The heroin epidemic in New York in the 70s and early 80s. That was Frank Lucas, and apparently his sidekick was Mel Combs. So Diddy's been a little gangster since day one. The receipts are absolutely there. And then there's more powerful players. Everybody's looking at Diddy, but you got to ask yourself, who controls Diddy? Who's Diddy's handler? Well, that's Clive Davis. And then
Clive Davis.
Who's Clive Davis's handler? That's the true question. And that's when we start getting into politics and powerful players around the globe. Because it's the same people as the Epstein stuff.
David Geffen and Clive Davis were so close together. In fact, David Geffen tried to bring over Clive Davis. Now, David Geffen is accused of supposedly behind the scenes Kurt Cobain, ruining Donna Summers. Clive Davis was a lot of people's the conspiracy theory there is that he killed Whitney Houston.
He killed Whitney. I do absolutely believe Whitney
that night, right? That she came on the set and handed she handed something. I can't remember who was doing an interview.
It was not Monica, the other one, Brandy.
Okay, yeah. TLC, what's her name? Lisa Left Eye, Clive Davis and David Geffen have been tied to like William Morris, CAA, all the way up to the top.
Morris. Oh my God, he's so bad. That's his boyfriend.
These are the same clans. That's why I asked that same question. I'm curious to know what you think, Shanda. I said there's two choices here, right? Now, there's different elements to the two choices, but the two choices are the elites going to Epstein P. Diddy, meaning are they going to kill him, whatever, or are they going to protect him? And when I say protect him, I mean protect him because he's one of them or protect him because he has something on them. I think that the raid of the three houses for two reasons. Number one, there were so many civil cases that the public was starting to catch on. Too much information
sweeping under the rug.
Diddy. So the elites had to perform some like kabuki theater, the show, like, oh, we're holding this guy accountable. We're after him. We couldn't find anything, but they act like they're really concerned about what he's doing, and it's a phony raid. Or did the elite saying, what does this guy have? Let's raid his place without him knowing and see if we can grab some tapes or we'll see what he has on us. I surely believe that when it came to Epstein Island, Shanda, that the feds grabbed a bunch of stuff and handed it off to the elites to cover their ass.
Yes.
To get
they never even went to Epstein Island. They didn't go to Epstein Island for weeks, right? They never really checked out the Zorro fucking ranch. We
never heard anything about the Zorro ranch.
I did a super deep dive on the Zorro ranch, and holy crap, that was some genetics baby farm that they were running, and they got the property.
Transhumanism.
from the it's totally transhuman, but they got the property from the former governor of
Governor King. Governor
King, exactly. I mean, these characters are all the same, but here's the thing. I think you're right. I think they did go in just to see what Diddy had, because they were hearing that every single freak out party Diddy had, there was a camera in every room. And you have to understand these Hollywood elite parties. Like, you're like, oh yeah, right. Like, everybody's having an orgy. Yes, everybody's having an orgy, and there's a reason for it. They want leverage on you, so they drug you up. They tell you you're going to get a big part, and they're going to pay you $100,000, or you're going to be the next superstar rapper, and you just do what they need you to do tonight, whether it be sleep with this person or film this person. And then the next day you'll get everything they promised you. And so many fall into that, and they play the game. And there's horror stories out there of people who thought they were going to break into Hollywood, and that's exactly what happened to them. And they're shocked to find out that's reality. But the thing is this isn't new to Hollywood. This has been going on since the 20s and freaking 30s. You can go back to Tallulah Bank and Billie Holiday having an affair.
Yeah.
They've always been that way. They're always been sexually fluid. This is nothing new for Hollywood. Hollywood knows how to cover their ass, and Diddy is much a part of Hollywood. He's got his places in LA. Cat Williams told us it was going to be the year of truth, and baby, it's going to be the year of truth. But here's the thing. Okay, so there's a lot of predictions out there that Jay-Z is going to end up with a little bit of fallout, or a lot of fallout from this, because there's a lot of talk about him knocking Aaliyah off. Right? He had to get rid of Aaliyah because she had a bunch of dirt on him, and he wanted to promote Beyonce at the time, who was not a rising star, who wasn't really crap at that point. And so he canceled his End of the Summer tour. Did you see that? Jay-Z canceled his End of the Summer tour.
I did not see that.
So yeah, he did. And so he's kind of just waiting. He's simmering, waiting for fallout, because I'm telling you, where there's smoke, there's fire. And Diddy and Jay-Z were very tight from all of this.
Yes, get that video ready real quick. While you get that video up, I'm going to play the Cat Williams video real quickly, because this is really some crazy stuff. This is, I mean, a lot of people in the mainstream didn't know what was going on. They don't pay attention to stuff like you and Amber do, right? And so they didn't know. But let's look at this Cat Williams, what he said. And that was on Shay's Lounge, or whatever it's called, or Shay's Lounge. Shannon Sharp. And this had like a couple 20 million views, right? It had so many things, right? Here we go.
Something like that, yeah.
Something.
He lost $50 million. No, that's not even close to what happened to this dude. And until you understand what happened to the dude, you don't understand what happened. Like, no, not they offered him 50 million and he turned it down. Who gonna turn down 50 million? Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times, just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right, because P. Diddy be wanting to party, and you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say I'm so free. Come on. Because early on you was accusing me of being. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, rough trade. So do you know what rough trade is, Pasta?
No.
Go ahead and Google. No, don't Google it, because then it'll be on your computer.
We don't want to get thrown off of YouTube over here. Let's take it easy.
No, it's a common term that they use in that community. And it pretty much is what they call a man who likes to break straight men, if you know what I'm saying. De-virginize the backside of straight men. So these are rough traders, and that's exactly what Diddy is. He gets off on cornering a straight guy and getting him to give it up. I guess it's a power thing, right? If you think about it,
it's a power thing. It is a power thing, and that's supposedly the person who came in the office that used to work for the record label saw that going on, and it was I think it was Al B. Sure that was giving him a little bit of that what do you call it?
No, that was Meek Mills. Al B. Sure has been totally against him. Now, Al B. Sure used to be with Kim Porter, who Diddy had kids with, who mysteriously died of pneumonia at 47 years old, which I've always, from day one, thought there was something.
Yeah. The coroner's report took weeks to come back, right?
Right.
They didn't find out she died of pneumonia for about 2.5 weeks later. Very suspicious, I should say.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's who Christian Combs is, the son, right? Is Katie Porter's son, I'm pretty sure.
No, that's that might, yeah. He's got so many damn kids by so many baby mamas. It's hard to track down. But
let's bring your video in. I want to see your video that dropped today.
So this is Shine.
Now, if people don't understand, Shine did time. He was supposed to be one of the. He was signed to Bad Boy label. Was going to be on Puff Daddy's label, Bad Boy. And Bad Boy label was once again given to him by who? Clive Davis. He went over.
Yep.
Andre,
he got fired. He got fired.
Andre Morel, I think his name was. He went around Andre Morel, got fired, and the next thing you know, started a new label with Bad Boy. And Suge Knight confessed a couple weeks ago that he had heard from another exec that Puff Daddy was having a relationship with Clive Davis. So all this stuff has been kind of talked about in that community for quite some time.
Well, and did you know that Whitney was in a same-sex relationship for most of her life too, even when she was married to Bobby Brown? Most people don't know that. I mean, and
hey, that's my prerogative.
That is, and nobody should judge, but when they keep it so closeted the way they do, and it all comes and out, it sounds like a scandal, right? I mean, just saying.
All right, let's go. What we got over here? This is Shine now, who he did time for P. Diddy, right? Well, he was in the club with P. Diddy, and then
J-Lo.
there was did he kill somebody or?
Well, no, one woman got shot in the face, and she is saying, and she has said to this day that it was Diddy who shot her.
Wow.
She has always said it was Diddy who pulled the pew pew out. So
and this is Shine?
This is Shine. So this is from today.
Let's do it.
It opens wounds. When you hear, the victim saying that it was Diddy that shot her, that is what is the most remarkable. Oh, you didn't see that?
I saw it.
Okay. And that was triggered by a lawsuit from a producer that produced on the Love album, who is making accusations. And in those accusations, he says that the gentleman confessed to the shooting. And that is what stands out to me the most, because, I've done my best to put it behind me and to move forward. But it certainly reopens the wounds that I've been saying this all along. Everyone knew all along that I was the fall guy. But my political enemies and, detractors tried to make me into, this criminal. But everyone knew that I was a young kid that took the fall. Everyone knew that. That was the story. I'm just saying that I maintained my innocence all this time. I said I was defending myself. I didn't get into who did what. But the victim is telling you who did what. And I understand that there are other witnesses.
Is she accurate, sir?
I'm not going to get into that. But it does open wounds. And certainly I am relieved that people are saying what the truth is, that, I did not shoot those people. I maintain that I never shoot nobody, that there were other guns there. I always said that. That has not changed. And that is the testimony that came out. Fragments were never removed. So there was never any forensic testing to say who it was. But the victims are vindicating me. Witnesses are vindicating me. But I have moved on. I'm not trying to relive that. And so I am appreciative of whatever contributions Diddy has made to help the people of Belize. I wish him well. I pray for him, and I pray for the alleged victims. And if it is true, may justice be served. If it is not, it's a tragedy, because a global icon would have been destroyed.
Okay, so
I believe him, yo. I don't know why, but I do, Shanda.
So 50 Cent tweeted that out. Apparently, there is a deep dive documentary that is getting ready to be released. And yeah, 50 Cent's all over it. And I'll tell you what, 50's been all over it. Now, I think, Jamie, on the deck, there is a picture. It's kind of, you'll see color. It's a lot. That's the back of Tupac's first album. And I'm pretty sure I dropped it on the dock. And that is, some are saying that is why Diddy wanted Tupac gone, is because he made fun of him, put him in a dress, and put him on the back of his first album. Now you have to go back and look at that album, and I got that from Jay Dreyer and Jamie Deluxe. They had a great with Sam Tripoli the other day.
Deluxe's work.
Oh, they did see, I knew all about this because of Jamie Deluxe. I knew all about the Hollywood.
He's the
Dan
one who
Schneider
taught me
stuff.
about David Geffen. But really, while Jamie's getting that up, I want to show you a video that's been kind of circulating around now on the interwebs about Tupac Shakur. Look at this.
Okay, my name is Tupac Shakur, and I attend Tamalpais High School. Okay, my name is Tupac Shakur, and I attend Tamalpais High School. And I'm 17 years old.
Do you like being 17?
A young Pac.
It's like 17 is such a weird age. It's such a in the middle age. You're not 18 yet, and you're older than 16. So. But I like it. It's nice. It's like a learning stage for me.
Do you wish you could be 18 and when you get some more rights?
Well, 18 will bring lots of responsibilities that I don't want, but it'll bring respect that I feel like that's the only way I can get it. You know, I try to be as mature as I can be and demand it wherever I can get it. But 18 is like, you're an adult. You like today when I had to sign the release form, I felt so bad because I couldn't sign it myself. I had to go and get my mother's and all that. But 18 it's just society's way of saying that you're ready. But 17, like I think I'm ready now, as ready as I'm gonna be in this world. But so it's okay. I guess 17 is all right.
How do you think you're most like your mom?
I'm most like my mom because I'm arrogant, totally arrogant. I agree.
Mama was a Black Panther.
Like at work, I can't hold a job. I just quit my job today actually because I wanted to come and do this, and they wouldn't let me. And I felt like it was important, and it was more important than serving pizza. And we had enough people, so I felt like since I'm an actor, they should understand. They should have let me do it, but they didn't. And then I had a cold, so they were making me work in a freezer. And I'm really not one to be disrespected. And I felt like that was disrespectful because I asked to go, So I quit. And he told me I couldn't quit. And that even made me hyper. I'm arrogant. So when he told me I couldn't quit and we had all these customers, I chose that time to jump on a soapbox, grab my leather jacket, light a cigarette in front of him, smoke, and leave in the middle of a rush. So that was natural. That's arrogance at the top. That's I think I'm most like my mother, and she likes it. She'll see it in me and know it. And we clash a lot because I'm arrogant, she's arrogant, and you should see us when we get in our little attitude moods.
Wow. Right.
Okay, so a lot of people are referencing that as to what Pac's sexuality really was at that young age. We've got Jada Pinkett saying that she was going to marry him and all of that, but there's a lot of people in the industry saying, no. He had plenty of other outside relationships that didn't have anything to do with that, right?
Cheese Slice wants to say something.
Well, I've got the back album, the cover that you wanted to see.
Put it up.
I don't know if we can.
Why?
I don't know if we can show it. I mean, I think we can, but it's a little bit pushing the edge of censorship for YouTube.
Oh, is it?
I don't know. It's a little risque.
Let me look at it again. Was it really that bad?
What are you doing, me, Shanda? You're trying to get me thrown off freaking...
I ride on the edge, and if you can't ride on the edge, then
I don't even see the album.
I'm looking for the doc. Hold on. I had it up here somewhere, but here it is.
See like the preview down on the bottom screen.
Okay, hold on. I'm looking. Was it that bad? I thought he had a pink tutu on.
He does have a pink tutu on. It's the other stuff on the cover.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, you guys go Google it. Look it up. We're giving you guys some homework. If you
Where did you find it at? We could put a link, right?
You can Google it. You can literally Google the first album of Tupac, back cover, Diddy, and it will come up. I swear. I got the
Jamie, hold
Let me
to the
see if I
side,
can
too.
crop it. Let me see if I can
Wait,
crop it. and then
here's
we
the
can
thing:
show
when
it.
we go to Rumble, we'll show it there because we're gonna go to Rumble for the last
that bad,
section.
but I'm glad you caught it. There's lots of stuff I don't catch that goes on my show, but you know.
Okay, let's get this up there right now. Let's get the lawsuit up there. So Christian Combs was named in a lawsuit by a woman by the name of Grace O. Marquet, and it was in the state of California. And the plaintiff is Grace, and the defendants are Christian Combs, Sean Combs, Jane Doe's, and ABC Corporation. So it says, number one, plaintiff Grace O. Marquet is a European Caucasian female who worked as a stewardess in the yachting industry in 2018. And it pretty much just goes down that she did all this stuff. She worked in the industry, and then she got a job and a big thing, and skipped the holidays to go over and work on a yacht that was a Puffy Combs vacation holiday dream holiday, whatchamacallit, right? You can scroll down to number number 19. Here we go. Wait. Go down
I haven't
to
actually even looked at this lawsuit. I've looked at Cassie's and Little Rod's, but I haven't looked at this one, Christian's.
So go down to number 22, right? In September 2022, number 22, plaintiff had been part of a dedicated team at the Monaco Boat Show tasked with selling charters for Victorious to high net worth clients such as Christian Combs and Sean Combs. In December 2022, plaintiff and her team were advised that the yacht had been successfully chartered for the 2022 holiday period. In other words, she was working for the yacht industry. She had a wonderful life. She loved what she was doing. She found out that she was going to go and be part of this whole team, right? A yacht stewardess, and work while Sean Puffy Combs and his family had holiday, number 24, changed their personal day holiday families plans to accommodate the charter service and flew to St. Martin to prepare the yacht for service. I love the way the lawyers go. Changed their holiday plans to accommodate the charter service. Soon learned that the client who chartered the yacht was defendant Sean Combs and his family. Number 26, defendant Sean Combs leased the yacht and had full control of the staff and premise of the yacht. 27, although the plaintiff was used to working in discreet and VIP environments, this was one of the first times working with an A-list celebrity. Because of this, plaintiff and the rest of the team assigned to the yacht were determined to make the holidays special for defendant Sean Combs and his family. For the duration of the trip, this is number 28, plaintiff was assigned the 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift along with one other crew member. The shift, commonly known as the late shift, was very, very busy. Number 29, the late shift duties included dinner, a drink service for the clients for the entire 12-hour period. Dinner and drink service have been carried out with a minimum staff support or backup during the night shift since only 2 individuals were assigned. Although, this is number 30, as Sean Combs was typically on the yacht, his sons, defendant Christian Combs, C. Combs, and Justin Combs were staying in a luxury villa nearby and joined the father aboard the yacht most evenings. 31, during the second week of the charter service, there was a significant amount of partying and drug use. Which caused the guests to stay up throughout the night. They were probably doing that pink cocaine you talked about there, Shannon. Number 32, the makeup of the yacht quickly evolved from just defendant Sean Combs and his family to include the constant rotation of suspected sex workers and other A-list celebrities, such as French Montana and actor Cuba Gooding Jr.
Cuba, show me the money.
Right? Show me the money. He was suspected, and he keeps coming up in these lawsuits.
He keeps getting accusations.
Keeps coming up. Poor Cuba. Number 33, defendant S. Combs turned what was sold as a wholesome family excursion into a hedonistic environment. I had to go look up the word hedonistic. But, you know,
They're sodomites, so of course that's what it would be. How did you not know what a hedonistic is?
I had to go look it up. I'm not going to lie. My vocabulary can be weak sometimes. According to the plaintiff, this is number 34, it resulted in an unexpected increase in workload for her and her colleagues, as well as unwanted exposure to unlawful drug use, sex work, and general chaos. 35. And you can see throughout this whole, if you read the whole lawsuit, I had to skip over a little bit. They paint her, Shanda, as an innocent girl, very young, and then all of a sudden, all this stuff happens. It's hedonistic. It's bad. It's awful.
That's what they prey on. That's what they do. And, I'm going to say, of course, Christian Combs is doing this. That's what he was raised watching his daddy do his whole entire life. Diddy didn't just start this a couple of years ago. He's been doing it since the 90s.
Jamie, can you make it a little bigger? Do you know how to do that? There's been so many phallic comments. I said, Jamie, can you get it up? And somebody made comments in the chat. Now, once again, just stop it, guys. Come on. I'm trying my best over here. Thank you, Jamie, for making it bigger. Okay, number 35. It also created, I already read that, right? Okay, we're on 36. It was important to note that as a bartender, plaintiff understands the impact of alcohol and the likelihood that the person would not generally become intoxicated following one mixed drink. This is what we're talking about here, Shanda. Christian Combs potentially drugged, Sean Combs potentially drugged a lot of the sex workers, the A-list stars. And it's kind of what Cat Williams alluded to, because I said no, because I want to keep the holiest of holies sacred. Go ahead.
We saw Justin Bieber drugged out of his mind at a party. The video shows us years later. We saw Britney Spears on a New Year's pouring out of a place in in Vegas that she was there with Diddy. I think this is kind of a normal thing in those parties.
Because of this, plaintiff found it very suspicious that after one shot of De Leon tequila or one mixed drink, various women on the yacht would be falling over themselves, panicking, or passing out. This led the plaintiff to reasonably believe that the alcohol given to these women were likely laced with drugs. Number 37. The plaintiff was aware that Rodney Jones, Mr. Jones, a producer who was employed to work on the Love album Off the Grid, was required to be on standby for musical recordings, often late into the night. Number 38, the Love album Off the Grid is the 5th studio album by American rapper and record producer Sean Diddy Combs, released on September 15th, 2023. I didn't even know he was releasing albums back then. I thought he only made one album, a couple songs, and that's it.
Right.
39.
He's really been known for his musical talent. No.
Biggie Smalls made that whole album.
Exactly.
KRS, not KRS. Craig Mack had a lot to do with it, but it was never Puffy, right? It was never Diddy.
It was
39. Mr. Jones was accepted as a member of the service staff and spent time with plaintiff at the service bar and the piano room where he played the piano. Number 4. On or about the early morning of December 28th, 2022, the evening shift started as normal. About 5 a.m., the plaintiff was messaged on the on-duty phone by the defendant Christian Combs would be joining the yacht by tender, a smaller craft that runs back and forth from a larger yacht and used for servicing and providing support and entertainment to a private or charter yacht. Defendant Christian Combs wanted to be brought over to Victorious to record in the yacht's makeshift recording studio with Mr. Jones. Number 41. Although it was not unheard of for defendant Christian Combs, to come aboard at such a late hour, he usually stayed at his dwelling offshore overnight, particularly when there was no party on board at any given night. Number 42. Defendant Christian Combs arrived in the tender and was heavily intoxicated. Plaintiff suspects defendant Christian Combs was intoxicated from a mixture of narcotics and alcohol. Is that pink cocaine? Number 43. Upon entering the recording studio, defendant Christian Combs immediately started ordering the tequila shots to be poured from a bottle of alcohol that he may have brought on board the yacht. Okay? This is what I'm talking about. There's a lot of proof and evidence of this. A lot of people have been talking about this. This is not looking good, and I'm going to tell you why it even gets worse, because if you look into this case right here, and as we go along, you'll see they incriminate themselves. And number 44, ironically, defendant Christian Combs was playing Cassie, Me and You. It was playing in the background. Cassie was an artist under Sean Combs, and it was his former love interest who accused Sean Combs of serious sexual and mental abuse. I heard it was a 34 million settlement within 24
24 hours because she had the receipts. And not only that, Kim Porter had been stockpiling receipts on Diddy for years. I mean, he was so abusive to her. It was kind of known in the industry. We even kind of knew, like, he never married Kim Porter and then he takes off with Cassie, right? Well, it turns out Cassie and Kim Porter became fast friends. They had a lot in common from being controlled by Diddy, right? And so it's said that Kim Porter gave a lot of evidence to Cassie, and that's what Kimora Lee Simmons is saying. And don't even get me started with Russell Simmons and his 15 sexual accusations. This is just what they do in those damn circles. So I don't think this is all just going to go away anytime soon. I think we're going to get a lot more names, but a lot of people seem to think that Diddy and his sons are being thrown under the train, if you know what I mean. Make them the focus so they're not looking at a broader who was involved in it. So some say that's why this lawsuit came from.
I don't know if anybody's seen the original Superman with Christian Reeves. And his name. What's his name?
Chris Reeves.
What's Christopher Reeves? What is it?
Christopher
Reeves.
No. Yeah. That was our Superman when we were kids. Christopher Reeves.
The one with the one that they paid a bunch of money to
Henry Cavill.
Marlon Brando got paid a ton of money to be son of Jor-El's father. He was only in the first 20 minutes, and they always used his face like he was Christopher Reeves. Christopher Reeves. Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, that broke his back, right?
Yes, but remember when they put Zod on trial with the three villains in the black, and all of a sudden they just had these faces come up, and this is what I see every single time I see Puff Daddy. Guilty.
I don't know.
Guilty.
He's got a lot of dirt on a lot of people. So think about it, Pasta. Let's use our critical thinking skills. If he is very much like Epstein, right? And we know there's tapes for videos, flash drives, whatever, for all of these freak out parties. They called him Mr. Freak Out. He lived for these parties. Do you really think that they want to put him on a place where he can testify or where he's giving testimony and he starts throwing others under the bus? I just don't see that happening. I see him getting Epstein or this all just going away, including for his son. Maybe they put a settlement out for this girl and it goes away. That's
maybe, but there's more to this here. And by the way, Jamie, way to go. I knew Jamie would love that. Throw it back up there. That's Diddy and a couple of his associates is Christian Combs. They're in the circle and all the faces are coming up.
Yeah.
Guilty. By the way, that's Marlon Brando standing over there. That's the son of Jor-El.
Don't even get me started on the stories about Brando. Brando was very sexually fluid in Hollywood too.
Yeah, I heard a lot of stories about that. And I heard a lot of stories about the Italian guys there right now as well.
Yeah.
De Niro, Pacino, and
De Niro,
Pauly Shore, right? Pauly Shore said.
I love Pauly Shore. Did you see him portray Russell? Who was the exercise guy? The little exercise guy.
Richard Simmons.
Richard Simmons. He did a short of Richard Simmons on YouTube. Go watch it. It's like 12 minutes long.
He looks like Richard Simmons.
And he pulls it off. He is Richard Simmons. Somebody give Pauly Shore a docudrama to do on that. I'm telling you, go look at it. It's on YouTube. It's amazing.
I gotta say too as well. The thing that's also crazy about this whole thing, listen. Lahaina on Fire Volume 2 is coming out, and I went to Lahaina twice, 30 days after the fire, 100 days after the fire. Some of this stuff that you just can't make up. The fact that Josh Green, the governor, was the keynote speaker for 15 Minutes Sustainable Cities 2 months before the fire, it's just crazy. You know what just drives me crazy about this case, and the thing that just stuck out is that Cassie is playing in the background as all this shit is going on. She accuses Puff of all these different sexual abuses. And it's just freaking, that to me is like, you can't make this.
Pasta, I totally sympathize with Cassie because so when I was young, I was in my early 20s. I ended up dating the boss, like the guy who owned the company that I worked for. And we ended up together for a long time. And he was 28 years older than me. I was young. I was impressionable. He had money, fast cars, So I thought this man loved me. So okay, you want to go out of town and do sex and travel, that type of thing. It's so easy for a young impressionable girl. And when I say young girl, when you're 25 years old, you're really still stupid. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, you are. I think Cassie was maybe 21, 22 when she got into all this.
I
But
think she was 19, I heard, when
right.
she
And so
first did.
in these lawsuits, she states that Diddy would hire sex workers and then she would have to perform with the sex workers and Diddy would film it. And so, I mean, it starts out with "You're so beautiful. Let's do a model shoot." And then the next thing you know, you're doing, triple X porn. I never got to that point, but I understand the progression because as a young woman who was impressionable, and now we didn't have the words grooming back then, right? We didn't have those terms, and it wasn't as frowned upon even in the 90s for an older guy to go out with a younger, 16 years old. Like Russell Simmons got with Kimora Lee when she was 16. Prince married his first wife when she was got with her when she was 16. That's what you did in the 90s. And so I feel
Let's
for
get back
Cassie,
into
but she
this
took the money
lawsuit
and
because
ran,
it's going to
didn't
get
she?
really good, by the way. In the studio, it was number 45. Defendant Christian Combs asked that the plaintiff bring the shots to the recording studio Sundeck, and the plaintiff obliged as she was the only one serving steward at the time. She was the only serving steward at the time, 46. Plaintiff noticed immediately that he was particularly attentive with her, which he considered very inappropriate. 47. However, the plaintiff began to become concerned when he insisted that she take a shot of tequila that he may have brought on board the yacht. That's the secret bottle over there. Number 48.
Got the
Under
2C in
pressure.
it.
There it is. Under pressure. The wanting to be polite. Plaintiff obliged. Prior to this, the plaintiff witnessed defendant Sean Combs create a Black Santa video, which showed him demanding the captain, various heads of departments, and the crew take a shot of tequila with him. 49. I think they just put that in there to say, okay.
Drunk on tequila. No.
Right. I think they put that in there to say, well, I saw my boss do it, and he's Black Santa Claus, and whatever. You just got to oblige. You got to do whatever's right for the customer. She saw the captain do it, so maybe
Have you ever been on one of these big yachts,
right?
Pasta?
What's that?
Have you ever been on one of these big yachts?
I've been on a yacht before, but I haven't been on a yacht that's had like service and stars.
I have. And yeah, you are owned by the owner of that boat and you do whatever they tell you to do. You are a mate and that's what you do.
Well, really quickly, before we get to the rest of this, that's also something while you're there too, while you're mentioning this, Shanda, a lot of times people say, well, why didn't you just get up and leave? Why didn't you just get out of there? You're in the fucking ocean.
You're on a yacht.
You can't go nowhere. You're in the ocean right now.
You're not allowed in the main quarters because you are a hired hand. You're allowed to use the servant's bathroom and whatever bunk you're allowed to sleep in. That's where you're allowed to go. I mean, yeah, you ain't getting away.
You ain't getting away from nowhere. That's the thing that makes this thing even more creepier. Number 49, as this was a pattern established by the captain of the yacht and defendant Sean Combs. Once again, they're saying this pattern was established, because at first they can make her look like, well, she was not, she was, what's the word? Insubordinate at her job. She was breaking protocols. She did something that you're not supposed to do. But no. I saw the captain do it. I saw the various heads do it. So I was allowed to do it, right? Plaintiff felt comfortable knowing that Mr. Jones was present and didn't think anything more of it. She felt that she would take one shot and he would let her return to the pantry. According to the plaintiff, at this point, this is number 50, the mood changed and things became sinister. Defendant Christian Combs insisted that the plaintiff stay chatting and that she sit beside him. 51.
Sit here. I can just see it in my head.
I know. The plaintiff resisted and remained polite, asking to leave. Defendant Christian Combs became aggressive, insisted that the plaintiff take a further shot and sit beside him. 52. At this point, Christian Combs violently grabbed plaintiff's arm and began hurting her. He pulled plaintiff to the seat beside him and prevented her from getting up. This is where it gets a little crazy. 53. The plaintiff insisted that she had to return to the pantry, but her pleas fell on deaf ears. Angered, defendant Christian Combs forced the plaintiff to take another shot. 54. Plaintiff was quite scared and realized she was in a very dangerous situation. Plaintiff was also feeling the effects of the tequila shots and quickly suspected that the tequila was spiked. 55. At this point, the situation escalated, and the plaintiff started to be physically assaulted by defendant Sean Combs. I don't get that, right?
So daddy got in on it?
I don't get that.
Or does he have another kid called Sean?
At this point, the situation escalated, and the plaintiff started to be physically assaulted by defendant S. Combs. Maybe it's the other Combs. Is there another Combs in the case? Let me see 1 second real quick.
There might be another brother because there's multiple brothers. There's 2 of them.
It says Sean Combs.
Yeah.
I don't know. See, that's the part that I was like he, I didn't even know he was there, right? He touched plaintiff's legs, breasts, anus, and vagina. He also tried to kiss her and proceeded to kiss her neck, face, and hands. I think it's just it's supposed to be Christian Combs, and they put Sean Combs there. I don't know if that's right, but wait. Okay, so Sean Combs, I guess, showed up, right? Maybe. The timeline at this point was very blurry and vague to the plaintiff, and as she does not recall exactly what happened to her due to the effects of the spiked tequila shots. Number 57, luckily for the plaintiff, due to the Sean Combs' insistence on Mr. Jones recording everything, this is where it gets creepy right now. Mr. Jones has an audio recording of defendant Christian Combs drugging and sexually assaulting the plaintiff. 58, below is the transcript of defendant Christian Combs forcing the plaintiff to consume the suspected laced shots of De Leon tequila. Audio 1. Before I get into this 1 second, okay. Wait a sec. I got to ask you. I got to get your opinions over here. Now, listen. Bad Boy recordings, if you listen to Biggie Smalls' album and stuff, and I want to hear what you guys have to say in the chat, guys. Please, if you have anything to say, we want to hear it from you. Bad Boy albums, Biggie Smalls, Ready to Die, would always have Sean Puffy Combs with these little recordings in the beginning of the songs or during the songs and stuff. Yeah. Ain't no joke. I mean, like all these little things. It's so... Yeah, it's kind of like some of their style, but you know as well as I know that these crazy elite pedophiles with their rituals and bullshit like to document and have their own videotapes or audio recordings of their of them being predators on someone else. You know what I'm saying? Not even so much to hold it against somebody, but to get their
egomaniac
off, right?
narcissists. Yes, they're complete freaking borderline personality narcissists. And the thing is poor Biggie. My heart breaks for Biggie because he was really talented, and Diddy wasn't shit. And where Diddy got was because of Biggie. It was because of Biggie's writing. I mean, Biggie was writing for so many people, Lil' Kim and Mary J. and so many other groups. And, that came from Pac, though, because Tupac was Biggie's mentor. They had a good, close relationship before Biggie got in there. Before Pac got in there, Diddy, and tore them apart. They were really close. There's even video of them when they did a movie together where they, you can see it on Biggie's face that he just idolizes Pac. So yeah, exactly what you're saying. Diddy has always inserted himself, like you see him in so many other people's videos too, right? I mean, it's just the egomaniac in him.
So there is a little bit something to that. It is a little strange. Guys, if you're one of the 94 watchers on the Rumble channel, thank you so much for watching the show. Hit that little join button down below and join us over here. Get on that Locals right now. You can come on the Locals for free. If you want to leave a donation, one-time donation, you can do that. You can help on out. But please, at the very least, there's 94 of you guys. Go on there and join the Locals channel. Let's get back to the lawsuit, because let's listen to the audio, because like I have here in my notes, there's 3 things that I pointed out. We talked about he potentially drugged her. She mentioned that in the lawsuit. The plaintiff stopped Christian Combs from sexually assaulting her. She mentioned that. And there's damning audio. Damaging, whatever.
Damaging,
incriminating, awful for Christian Combs audio. So here it is, audio 1. Yo, it's shot o'clock. Plaintiff. No, I'm not doing shots, Christian. Defendant to Christian Combs. Everybody, we got to take a shot. Audio 2. I'll just put the ledge. No. Take the whole thing. No. Will you take it as well? Take the whole shot, says Christian Combs. Plaintiff, I'm only doing it as long as you take it as well. So here she is saying, listen, mother effer, if you're going to try to get me knocked out, and he goes, defending Christian Combs, I ain't going to lie. I'm not taking nothing. Please take the shot. Plaintiff, you're drugging me? Defending Christian Combs, take the shot. Hey, yo, play another beat one time because now, and here comes number 59. Below is the transcript of defendant Christian Combs' sexual assault of the plaintiff. Really quickly before I go on, that's really bad over there. That's kind of like saying, I'm not going to take a shot, but you take a shot, right? I mean, hold on a second there. That means that bottle, that's pretty much what I'm getting out of it. Are you getting the same thing?
Yeah. Well, it's common knowledge, and Cassie says it. Cassie says it in her lawsuits about how, the drugs was a big thing, and this alcohol, that's exactly how they plied people.
Well, we're talking about Cassie. This is Cassie, Me and You featuring P. Diddy and Young Jock song playing in the background. This is not an offer, says the plaintiff. Christian Combs says, you said what? Plaintiff said, I can't. I'm swapping out. I can't do it. I'm sorry, darling. Defendant Christian Combs, nah, we need you. Plaintiff, I'm going to stop. I have to go. Honestly, I'm like already losing sleep. I have to go now. Defendant Christian Combs, you're one of the best on the ship, though. Plaintiff says, what do you mean? Defendant Christian Combs says, who's going to replace you? Plaintiff says, who's going to replace me? Defendant Christian Combs says, fuck that. That's going to be trash, though. You feel me? Plaintiff says, excuse me? You don't touch my legs like that. I'll move my legs where I want to. Plaintiff says, if I want to do this, then I will. You don't touch my legs like that. Christian Combs says, listen, you and everybody in the crew, it's great. Plaintiff says, I can't. I have to go down. Defendant Christian Combs says, no, tell me. Listen. Plaintiff says, what? Defendant Christian Combs says, say you're just vibing with me the whole time. The plaintiff says, I can't. I promise you. I wish I could, but I can't. Unless I say that you guys requested me. Okay? Defendant Christian Combs says, yes. Who can I talk to right now? Who can I talk to? I'm going to say I requested you right now. The plaintiff says, well, you can't. You could take your hand off my ass for the first thing, right? So this is number 60. Listen to why she's saying this. You got to request, because some people are saying, oh, you just have to request me. According to the plaintiff, she would say, she said she would have to be requested because she knew anyone of authority would not approve the request. Was asleep. Anybody who could approve it was asleep.
Right. Everybody was downstairs asleep.
They're gone.
Okay.
Right. So defendant Christian Combs would not have been able to contact them, and the plaintiff could then leave. So she said that knowing that she was providing herself some cover to get the hell out of there.
Right.
61.
That's what women do. We leave ourselves an out to get out the door.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. 61. After being assaulted in the recording studio, plaintiff attempted to resume her duties that night. 62. She made her way to the pantry, where she met another steward who was assigned to take over the shift. Her colleagues recognized that the plaintiff was visibly intoxicated, in shock, and trying to finish the shift. 63. Shortly after returning to the pantry, defendant Christian Combs called for the plaintiff. He went looking for her and demanded that she find him a place to sleep on the yacht. 64. At such a late hour of the night, there were no spare cabinets for the defendant Christian Combs to stay in. Despite this, he refused to go back to shore. The most acceptable place for him to sleep at night was in the cinema. So, okay, there's a cinema on board. 65. The plaintiff directed him to the cinema, which was commonly used for an extra sleeping area. The cinema has one door to exit and enter. The plaintiff entered the room, and defendant Christian Combs blocked her from exiting. 66. The plaintiff retreated to a corner of the room, and defendant Christian Combs became physically and extremely aggressive. He cornered the plaintiff and started to grope her. The plaintiff pushed him back constantly. 67. Christian Combs then took off his clothes. His penis was erect, probably from the pink cocaine, and then he grabbed her arms and was trying to force the plaintiff to perform oral copulation of him. 68. The plaintiff began fighting defendant Christian Combs, and not long after, her partner on the board entered the cinema. This startled the defendant Christian Combs, and the plaintiff was finally able to leave. 69. The plaintiff's partner became concerned and went looking for the plaintiff after she had not returned to her room after the shift she had ended. 70. The morning after, the plaintiff complained to the yacht's captain, Captain Petar Milkov. 71. Captain Milkov berated the plaintiff. He lacked compassion or concern, failed to investigate, and insisted that the plaintiff was probably Voluntarily
It's your fault.
partying with guests, she was not. 72, Captain Milkoff added insult to injury by assigning the plaintiff to work in front of the house, which required personally serving defendant Chris Combs while they were on the yacht. This is, I guess, the next day. The plaintiff was not provided an option to be isolated or not have to serve the defendant Christian Combs. 73, the plaintiff was 25 years old at the time of the attack. 74, based on the information believed, Sean Combs' employees, including his drug mule, Brendan Paul, his chief of staff, Christina Coram, and his second in line, Frankie Santella, learned of what occurred and informed defendant Sean Combs. 75, shortly after, Captain Milkoff received a generous tip from Sean Combs in order to keep Captain Milkoff quiet and keep him from protecting plaintiff or taking action on her behalf. 76, only a few members of the ship's staff were required to write statements. Plaintiff and her partner were the only two staff members not interviewed and not asked to write a statement. 77 are below images of the plaintiff's bruises because the defendant, Christian Combs, violently grabbing her and attempting to force her to perform oral copulation. There it is.
Yeah.
They're bruises. I mean,
that's a hell of a story. I hadn't seen that lawsuit yet, and guilty. I mean, if she's got one piece of evidence, like there's evidence, there's audio apparently.
There's more though. There's a little more. We'll get through it. Check this out, Shanda, because you got to wrap up this story. 78, according to the plaintiff, the past year, 2023, has been the most deeply traumatizing time of her life. 79, after defendant Christian Combs' sexually assault and subsequent cover-up orchestrated by defendant Sean Combs and his staff, plaintiff was isolated and retaliated against on the yacht. 80, the isolation and retaliation finally resulted in the plaintiff's termination by Captain Pitar Milkov on or around May 10th, 2023. So it was less than 5 months later, right? Because that was around December, late December. This is May. So 4 months later, 4.5 months later, she's gone. In addition to losing her employment, this is number 81, the plaintiff also lost her longtime partner with whom she had planned a future. The plaintiff's partner was never the same after seeing plaintiff's bruises on her body because defendant Christian Combs' sexually assault and having to deal with the mental and emotional ramifications, so they separated. 82, plaintiff's mental health deteriorated to the point that she was medicated and required intensive therapy. Additionally, she fell into a deep depression and was unable to fully carry out her maid of honor duties at the wedding of her only sister on June 2023, which she had been looking forward to doing so for over 18 months. 83, the plaintiff's anxiety and panic attacks prevented her from securing another permanent position in the yachting industry in 2023. 84, the plaintiff also developed a severe eating disorder as a result of the attack due to the shame and mental warfare she was experiencing that affected her body image and appetite. 85, on several occasions, the effects of defendant's Christian Combs' sexual assault led to plaintiff to have severe suicidal idea. How do you say the word? Ideations?
Ideologies.
No, ideations.
Yeah, you're right. Ideations.
Ideations, whatever. All right. 86, in addition to the plaintiff's psychological trauma, her physical health began to deteriorate. The plaintiff had several epileptic seizures. These seizures resulted in the plaintiff losing her ability to privately do things she was accustomed to doing alone. The plaintiff now requires supervision to do basic activities like swimming and bathing and is not required to inform the people in the public places. She is epileptic and requires supervision.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of a stretch. I don't know how you become epileptic because of that, but okay. The attorneys thought it was worthy to put it in there.
Yeah. And it goes on and on. I mean, we can go from there.
Yeah, that's shocking. That's shocking.
You get the sense of what's going on. There's a little bit more to it, but holy shnikes, man. That is the audio is damaging, right? It is damning.
There's a lot of damning audio out there. Did you hear the Meek Mills audio?
I heard about it, but I didn't get to hear it or see it.
Oh my gosh, it's so bad, but there's no way to prove anything because it's audio, right? And there'll always be speculation of who it is, but everybody's saying it's Meek Mills just getting taken down by Diddy.
What video do you have?
I think that was it video-wise. Let me see what I've got here. Yeah, I mean, I've got a Vibe, which we probably can't run for copyright, and then Cappy told us. Cappy told us.
I've got the tutu, the pink tutu.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right.
Let's see it. Oh, good job.
Damn. Tupac.
So this was the back of Tupac's very first album, and they say that the reason that Diddy retaliated against Tupac is because of this album cover right here, that he was exposing Diddy for who he was. And, don't forget that when Wendy Williams tried to expose him, she got fired from one of the biggest radio stations in the United States within 8 hours. Diddy called the radio stations, got the managers on the phone, and said, if she is not fired by the time I'm back in New York, you're never going to get another live album from Bad Boy Records. We'll never play anything there ever again. And this is like Hot 97, the biggest, like hip hop in New York. And they got her fired. But, hooray to Wendy Williams, because she just carried on. And look, she ended up with the number one biggest daytime talk show for like 11 years. And then they stole her brain and stole all of her money. That's very sad.
Wow. Hot Water is P. Diddy's son. Little Diddy. He's in trouble.
Well, this is an example of what Diddy's been doing. He just emulated what Daddy does.
Yeah. Do you want to play that video you have, or we can't because it's copyright?
I think we'll take a copyright from Vibe.
Okay. Let's take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk about
I do
Javier
have
Milei.
one more thing on the deck or on the dock.
What is it?
Okay, yeah, it's just words. It shouldn't get us in trouble. Words in America getting
You'll
us
be able
trouble.
to read it as Jamie puts it up?
Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't see it in the doc.
It's in the doc. Just
It's
scroll
at the
down
very
to the doc.
bottom. It's about Kim Kardashian.
Oh, way down at the bottom.
Who is
Okay, I see.
who is handling Diddy? Well, there's a lot of people that say it's Kris Jenner or Kris Kardashian, whatever she goes by. Do we find it? Oh, maybe. We got a lot of peeps watching. Hey, peeps, what's up?
You got some people watching over there on tweeters.
On the tweeters. There's so many. Yeah, there's so many. Okay, so here, I'm going to bring the doc up so I can.
The freaking YouTube constantly cuts off some BS, in the freaking, man, I hate YouTube sometimes.
Okay, so reports are coming out behind the scenes that Kris and Kim Kardashian are lawyering up because of what is on the tapes regarding the P. Diddy freakouts that involve minors. This would make sense when you think about how one of P. Diddy's neighbors stated that he has seen a bus on a regular basis showing up at his home in Miami at 3 a.m. full of children. This is why many celebrities have been quiet on this particular situation. Many have swept their social media accounts, clean to wipe away any history of them ever being at events with P. Diddy or P. Diddy parties. On a social level, we can understand how this can affect your brand if the info comes out that confirms that the underage children were being SA'd at a party where you're present as a friend or an associate of P. Diddy. So yeah, that could be pretty damning. What were you doing at that party when that person, say who was on that boat and witnessed that girl being, cornered by Christian Combs? So everyone is trying to get ahead of what is coming once the investigation is done. I'm sure federal agents are going over all the pictures, videos, audio, paper trail, which is why things appear to be quiet on the ongoing situation, because they do appear to be quiet. I mean, other than the lawsuits we're seeing. I think it can hit everybody so that's why it won't. Just like Harvey Weinstein, just like Jeffrey Epstein, they might, punish Diddy a little bit somehow, some way, but there's not going to be a big exposure of, Jay-Z was, we're not going to see that. They don't do that. They protect each other.
Diddy-stein.
Yeah.
Not Epstein, Diddy-stein.
They call him the Jeffrey Blackstein. That's what they call him. Jeffrey.
Yeah, he's out there. Diddy Epstein. He's same people connected. Wow. Crazy stuff, Shanda.
That is crazy stuff. But thank you. I hadn't seen that, and that was good coverage of that.
I mean, that's just, it's just, and that was one of the latest things. Unless something else has come out soon, who knows what's going to come out next. Jamie, you got something to say? I see you.
I was just gonna say Diddy Blackstein.
Diddy Blackstein. The diddler.
Put up the picture of the Superman again. Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
There's been a lot of people who've been mysteriously died associated with, Diddy.
Surviving Diddy. Guilty. There's Marlon
Yeah,
Brando.
right.
Look at those faces. Guilty.
Guilty. I'm gonna reface I'm gonna put Diddy and all of his kids up there.
I forgot the actor's name who plays Zod, but he's a great actor too.
Well, Diddy would be the ones in the little circle.
Yeah, Diddy. Those are the Diddy boys.
Yeah,
the Diddy boys. Yeah. Who played Zod? It wasn't Gene Hackman, was it?
No. Gene Hackman was in the movie. Gene Hackman played Lex Luthor.
Oh, that's right. Gene. Okay. I know who you're talking about. I'm trying to think of what his old name was.
Let's see if we can. I forgot his name. He was in that movie. Not the 1978 film. Okay, here it is. So, what's
Terrence
his name?
Stamp.
What's his name?
Terrence Stamp.
Yes,
Terrence Stamp. Okay.
Terrence Stamp was also in that movie with. He's awesome. He was in that movie with the Yes movie, Yes Man, with Jim Carrey. If you will not come to the mountain, then the mountain will come to you. He's just Terrence Stamp is awesome. I love him. He's a great actor. All right, let's take a quick break and we'll come back. We'll do some Javier Milei. And yeah, we got to talk about that. Remember the libertarian champ, Javier Milei.
Yay.
He's a libertarian champ. Remember all the libertarians just fawning over this guy left and right? And we told everybody, listen, guys.
We told you.
We're not just saying this because we're just leftists that love socialism or anything like that. We're telling you this guy is no bueno. He's no libertarian. And all my leftist friends know that I have libertarian roots. I call myself a leftist libertarian, even though I'm not part of the Libertarian Party. But I said this guy is no bueno. And so far, he's been a cuck to Israel. He's been a cuck to Ukraine. He has taken Argentina out of BRICS. Right? It's one thing after the other. He suppressed speech. And then today or yesterday, he made another bold move. Another thing that shows you he's not a libertarian champ. We'll be right back. Pasta2Go here. Shanda Master, guys. Thank you, everybody who's watching. Come on that Rumble. Hit the join button. Join the locals. So do me a favor. Help me out. You can join for free. If you want to help out, I know. Listen, you go easy with that bat. I'm getting ready to bring these baseball bats down to kids in the Caribbean, man. Kids who can't get a hold of this stuff, sanctions, blockades. We're going to help out. If you want to help me out.
How crazy you have to say the Caribbean and you can't say where you're going, even though we live in the most free democracy ever to be known to mankind, right?
Well, we're not going to Rumble just yet, Reese Mac. We're going to do one more segment on the YouTube. But listen, we're going to go off the Convo Couch YouTube. So you got to go to the Pasta2Go YouTube or the Pasta2Go Rumble or the Twitters to help us out.
Down too.
We got 260 people watching total between all the networks. So help us out. Get on over there. We got one more section. You go to 2 more sections. You're going to love to see what Javier Milei says. That's it for the Convo Couch YouTube. Jamie, we're going to give you about 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Make sure that everybody knows. Shanda, go get your drink. Do what you got to do right now. We'll be back 3-4 minutes. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button. Hit the share button. Any way you can help out, please do so. We'll see you soon. We'll be right on back after these messages. Jamie?